right. Well, go on, everybody. Lennox here from Simple 123 Trader. It is Tuesday, May 27th. We're in August, May 27th. We are live at the New York Stock Market morning session. I'm glad that everybody can join us. Hope everybody's doing well. Okay. George, perhaps you could do me a quick favor and check if our stream on YouTube is looking okay.
Yeah, I will, but I have a problem right now. All of the people that are on, there's Martin also. Good morning, Martin. I have the little windows of everybody right over top of your chart, and I can't move the thing at all. So I was going to simply leave and come back on again and see if that does it.
Oh.
I'm going to put
That's what
take
you're.
a picture of
No,
this thing
don't leave.
and show you
Don't leave.
exactly what it looks like.
George.
Pardon?
Don't leave. How's it now?
Oh, that's fine. Got rid of it. Good.
Yeah, that was me. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then there's no reason. Now I will check the YouTube.
Yeah. Okay, it should be fine. I'm sure. That on YouTube now as well. Yeah, that was my own fault.
No
okay.
problem.
All right. So we are there. So I've got the window back up again. So I'm going to move it over to my other screen.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yeah.
That works.
Yeah. The problem I have is that unfortunately I have to, because I'm using two screens, when I have to start the session for YouTube, I have to move my screens over to one, my chats and everything over to one screen so that I don't get confused, because I have to I'm seeing the same thing on the other screen and so you get all confused of which window is which. So, all right. So here we go. We are on. It is 20 minutes after the hour. And yeah, so yesterday, remember, I went into that position in the NAS. You remember I bought at the open? You guys remember? From yesterday?
Let
me go back to yesterday's session.
Yeah, yesterday we closed down early because
yes, we did.
Okay, I'm not seeing the 27th in here.
The market was closed yesterday.
It was open till 1 o'clock for the indices. So we came on yesterday and we were playing for a little bit there and realized that the stocks were not moving or anything like that, but it was open for a moment in time yesterday. Just the indices were running. So yeah, yesterday morning at the open, I had bought. I can kind of find it now. Let me see if I can actually. I'll use my go-to button to find it here. Go to. Yesterday, May 26th at 9:30. There we go. Go to. Boom. Okay. So yesterday morning when the market opened.
Oh yeah. I remember when the market went open. It went up like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So what happened to me, and let's see if we can catch it today, because it's quite interesting what happens here. At this point, we have this move down, and it dropped, came back up, and my expectation is that we're going to go down one more time to take out the lows and then we would see a push up. But they did not give us our fifth wave here. So I was caught selling here. And what they did was they went up and took out the highs and went all the way up. So because I didn't put a stop on, I went into drawdown. But I stayed the course. I decided, okay, I'm still expecting them to come down and take out these lows. So I'm going to stay the course. And rather than exiting, I just stayed in. So they went all the way up here. We made a 1, 2, 3 top at that point. So, and then price, you remember when just before we were leaving, I was saying that price is starting to come back down. And so I went, it looks okay that I should be all right. And they started coming back down. I added to my position in here, and it started coming back down. And I was back to break even in this area, and then slowly you can see what happened. It just kept dropping and dropping and dropping. Let me see if I can move this over. Dropping and dropping. So they took out that low finally, and it just kept going down, 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 down. So I wrote it all the way down. But it's quite just what I'm trying to show here is that at the opening, they can really trick you. Because there's so many orders piled in here, they don't have to do, our nice structure that we're looking for at all. In this case, they did not. And it looked pretty good that we should fall first. I would have jumped in on that move, but they didn't give me that. So that's the expectation. And then you get, I'm in drawdown. I wouldn't suggest that anyone not put a stop in, because had I put a stop in, I would have been okay. I could have got back in again up at the top. But so quite an interesting one. So let's see if they do something similar to this morning. So let's see where we're at now today. All right, so I can see already that similar to yesterday, you see here we have a 1, 2, 3, but there's our structure. That's what I would have expected yesterday. You see, so they did do it properly here. Now we've got liquidity here, and that's been taken out already. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here as well. So the liquidity has been already taken. So I would expect now that we would get a 1, 2, 3 here to come back down. So let's just see where we are overall and go up a little higher. 5-minute time frame here. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3 tops here, dropped down. So again, it's a similar type of structure. We've got 1, 2, 3 top, drop. We'd expect them to take this low. They do. We go back up. We're making a 1, 2 here. So yes, we'd expect them to come back down, but we could be going back up again to take out these highs. So again, we have to go higher to see if that's so. 15. Okay, so now we know what we should expect. We know where we are on the chart now, right? We've got a 1, 2 here. We've gone up to this area and we're just chopping. So we were expecting a 1, 2, 3 here to take us back up to take out these highs.
Of course, we're at the market open, so it could spike down first.
Yeah, we could see them spike down first, possibly here. Or they could just take off.
Yeah.
So we'll watch for that. Okay, so that's good. Now we can see. Just move this out of the way.
At this point, we don't have a 1, 2, 3 unless we're considering the current down move as point number 3. But
yeah,
I guess I wouldn't be trying to guess the. I mean, it looks like we should go up, but I wouldn't be trying to put an entry in at this point.
Yeah, we do have a 1, 2, 3 setting up at this moment. We're in that move down, so we're in that sweet spot area for a 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
Yeah. So
it's heading towards 79.
Will they take out the lows? Or will they not? It
looks like they will. Almost.
That would be the question. So we've got a couple minutes before the market opens here. All right, so let me take a quick look at the calendar, just to see.
We had two minor changes that were positive for the dollar. We have one coming up at 10 o'clock, I think.
Okay, we have 1010 FOMC member speaking, but that's it. And it's not really red news, so don't have any red news really.
No red news.
Yeah.
But
okay.
Consumer sentiment can be important because of all the tariff considerations that were going on this weekend, et cetera. Well,
Okay.
that wouldn't be in the data. That would not be in the data anyway.
All right, we're just a few seconds away from the open. So that's what we've got. So both NAS and S&P did not break the lows. So this is again looking like it's a tempting buy, but they can easily take you out at this point, So yeah, they can just spike it down, take you out, and then they can take off to the upside. So it's an interesting one here. So let's see what they do at the open. Did they just scream?
The Dow broke the low.
Oh, they did. Okay, so we don't have the Dow here.
We have a bell.
Okay, so
we went below.
So the Dow popped straight up in the air, and the NAS broke the low. S&P broke the low. Okay, so we have to wait for a new 1, 2, 3 now at this point.
Oh, my Dow just plummeted and yours popped. That is fun.
Yeah, there's the Dow, and
okay, mine just went down.
Just popped right up in the air. Interesting.
Interesting. Okay.
How did Tesla open? Tesla popped up.
Tesla did the same as the NAS.
Well, no, Tesla really popped to the upside.
Oh, you're on the NAS now. Okay. That's no wonder it looks the same as the NAS.
So that'll be a while for Tesla to settle down, but that's quite a jump at the open there. All right, so yeah,
we definitely have more volume coming in than we had yesterday.
Okay, so they swept out anyone that's buying down here. So it's an opportunity to catch a ride to the upside at this point. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm going to take a ride.
It's kind of interesting. They really didn't on the futures.
Yeah, it's a tough play. Yeah, they're still going down a little bit here.
They're going to go down again, I'm saying.
Yeah, it's a tough one because they're still playing around here. So let's see where they're going down to.
They're almost at the next low.
We do have a gap down here. And we came and touched that gap.
Take it out. That's interesting. Huh.
This gap is still holding up here, actually. That gap, and it's holding. It just, they're just wicking through it, but there's a body now. Okay, that's on the 15. There's our 5.
This is interesting.
It's our 1. Okay.
I'm suggesting that they're not going to take out that bottom, but boy, that could be wrong because they keep. They're getting more volume coming in now. They should take that out.
This looks like on the hourly. So on the hourly, you can see our structure on the hourly quite clearly. We've had a 1, 2, 3, 4, and this is our fifth wave that we're in.
Okay.
And we're looking for another leg up. So are we going to be correct in getting that 15-minute? So got lots of liquidity sitting up here. So that looks like the likely scenario that we will go up and take that out at this point. And Tesla is kind of pointing in the direction.
This is really it looks like they're not going to take out the low I have marked on here. They missed it by a couple of handles, but it's really strange.
Yeah, the Dow really popped here. Interestingly, why the NAS and the S&P are struggling to turn back to the upside. And
Then I
Tesla,
think that must be a charting error. The Dow is down on all of my brokers.
really,
I'm looking at 4 charts.
can you double check the Dow, George? To
Yeah,
see
sure.
did it pop to the upside or to the downside on you for you? Because mine's showing a move to the upside. Oh, okay.
The Dow is doing what I thought the Dow is still going down.
Oh, really?
And that's-
Why is mine showing it going up? That's interesting.
They are targeting
and
you
the
personally.
Dow broke the low that I was looking to have broken. Well, let me see.
Do I have another Dow
I
Jones?
better go up to 10 minutes to see this more.
Jones
I'm
30.
readjusting things to find out what that is. Yes, the Dow took out the lows of Friday.
Okay, so this one is down. Okay, so the US 30
This is
is showing that it's
really
down. Interesting. Okay, so I'm not sure why DJI. Okay.
Dow actually has more. Wow, the Dow came down to the lows of Sunday. A lot of this could be due to the holiday in here. I don't know what to expect. I'm going back to see what NAS is doing.
The Dow is approaching a 1-hour gap.
Yeah, these guys are working differently. Oh, wow.
Let's put this guy down here. Okay, so that's quite interesting that the indices dropped, and Tesla popped so high up. Quite very unusual. Okay, so they did take out the lows by quite a bit, and they're heading straight down. Interesting on this entire move. So we're basically, yeah, I'm gonna have to be patient here and wait. So they're basically coming back down, but well below 50% of this entire move. So quite interesting here.
They're looking. I mean, if they follow suit, Lennox, they would be taking out the close of. Well, it's practically the close 2340. Oh wait, this is New York time. Let me get my bearings. This is okay. This would be close to well 1140 last night. There's a low I have 1140 last night, and we're quite a few pips from it. roughly about 60 pips from it. Probably it's not going there.
Well, my expectation was that they could possibly take this low out and then we'd get a turnaround. But boy, they went quite a ways down. So it's
Yeah.
very interesting that they went
Okay,
down
I've
so
got a
much.
new low at 40 handles below the lowest point of the current bar. I'm on a 10-minute chart right now. Let me start going down
I'm
to.
going to take a ride back up with them now and see if I get a ride back up. Got a nice fractal there. See if I jumped in a bit prematurely or not. My stop would be in this area here.
It's kind of looking like we want to make a turnaround at this time.
Yeah, I think we should.
I mean, it's not solid. It's just suggesting that it's in a good position to make a turnaround.
Put a stop down here. Okay, I'm getting a little bit of a bounce.
Candle volatility is quite high at this point.
Okay, I'm getting nice profits there. Was getting some nice profits there. Too slow taking some off.
Your volatility is going to shake you back and forth.
Yeah, that's too bad. I had some nice profits sitting right there, and I'm just a bit too slow. I should get that ready quicker. Okay, so it's going back up again. Let me get another chance at it. Here we go. Higher up.
You're almost there. I'm going to switch back to a 1 minute to see if I get it. Yeah, boy, volatility is through the roof at this point. See what it looks like on a tick chart. On a tick chart, it says that we're going north at this point.
Yes, sir.
Volatility is enormous.
Yeah, had I taken some off, if I would have been quicker and could have gotten some off at this point here, I would have been able to buy some
We haven't gotten
more.
back to that point, and on my tick chart, it says we might be getting more down direction coming. Not that it'll go lower than prior, but it's beginning to fall a lot. Okay, here, maybe this is the turnaround.
Yeah, I would have been buying some
Now we're
more.
getting aggressive again. Get your finger ready. Turns again. Holy mackerel. That volatility is just through the roof at this point.
Well, we've got our nice 1, 2, 3. So for those on YouTube, again, we're the 1, 2, 3 traders. We're looking for a low. That's our number 1. Our number 2 point is our high, and then another low point. That's our number 3 point. We're looking to get into the trade in around the 50% retrace between points 1 and points 2, and that's what we look for. So we also can enter on a fractal, which is also a 1, 2, 3 on a lower time frame on the seconds chart. So there's my okay. So I'm almost again up to where I wanted to.
You almost got to the point where you were trying to get out.
Yeah. Well, I just want to get out with a partial at this point, but
yeah.
Okay,
well, you're close enough to that point now. Whoops.
Yeah, I'm being really picky. I'm being really picky. I want to see if I can break a couple grand here real quick.
Oh, you want to try to break that point?
Yeah, I'd like them to take that high.
Okay, that's what it's been having a struggle doing at this point. Almost got it. One more push and
there we go. Okay,
there you
so
go.
That's take a little partial there. All right, now if I get another pullback, I would add to my position. So had I been able to do that the first time, I would have added to my position on the retrace, and I would be again looking to take some off again at this point. So you see how that works. So since I have a 1, 2, 3, and I got in early, once I get to the first high, our number 2 point at this point, I can take some partial, wait for it to come back into our number 3 point, and then add to it again. When it gets back to the number 2 point, you can always take some more off. So this is where you can really take advantage of that. I can still do this now that I've got the breach. Now I have a new 1, 2, 3 that's forming, so I can wait for them to come back again, and I can add to my position at this point. So that's the beauty of our 1, 2, 3s, and that we get 2 of them, something like that. And we can again look for a retrace between points 1 and 2 to go back in again to the upside. All right, so I can move my stop up now, but I have to be careful. I don't want to bring it up too tight. I wouldn't
go too tight at this point because the volatility is still high.
Yeah, just to that level there. It is possible for them to come back and take out the low here. So I take a risk moving my stop up too tight. So
actually, if you're just below that low you were talking about, it was showing on your chart there, you should be okay.
Maybe. So what's interesting here is that there was an inverted gap on the downside here. There's a gap here that became inverted once we start moving up. So price moves up, comes back in, and you see how they stayed basically into that gap. They didn't close outside of it, and that gap acted as support and pushed us out. So we're getting a nice move back out now, and so again looking for a retrace here to maybe add to my position to continue back up. If they don't retrace, that's fine.
I'm looking for a retrace right around now, actually. I mean, it hasn't occurred yet, but it's getting overdue for a retrace.
The Dow does it. Okay. The Dow is retracing.
Yes, so they see the Dow hasn't made that same move like the NAS. We didn't get a 1, 2, 3, and then another 1, 2, 3. It's just went straight up. Quite
Yeah.
interesting, eh? Let's see how let's see how S&P did. S&P, see how S&P did the same thing. It went up like the NAS. It went up, came back in, and then it's leaving again. So we would expect a little bit of a retrace before we go, but not necessarily has to. The NAS is not looking to come back at all. So it's just a straight up move. So where are they heading? We've got equal highs here, so we could take those highs out at that
yeah,
point.
we're right at a point where we can take out those points and then do a retrace.
So now I can move my stop up into positive because it's unlikely that they're coming all the way back down here at this point. So let's move it up to this area. Where would they be heading to overall? Likely to take out the highs up here.
I would think we're going to be taking out those highs.
So I was expecting them
We
up.
should have a retrace right around now, and who knows what's going to happen at 10 o'clock. We have that consumer sentiment, which is not really good news.
Forgot about that one. Yeah.
Okay, we're into the macro now at 10 minutes to the hour. So the macro is kicking in.
Yeah, well, let me just, at this point, it looks to me like the retrace should be starting. This is the beginning of the retrace.
So 50% takes us to this area here. We do have a little bit of a gap up above 50%, so they're not retracing by much here. It looks quite strong.
Well, it could do some more.
So we look for a TP up at the top here.
Maybe it wants to take out the top before it does it. I think it just did. No, not quite. Almost.
The Dow did retrace to almost 60%.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So on the Dow here, we do have an inverted gap, but they didn't come back into that. They did come back into the regular. Yeah. There's also a regular gap right there, but they didn't come back into that one either. They came back into the one higher up here. So quite interesting. And if I put the fib on this move, we came back, just between 50 and 62, around 62% retrace there, right? Yeah. So interesting, right in the middle between the two. So essentially the higher gap here at 50% is holding because we only have a wick on the Dow. So we would expect them to continue back up now. We still haven't taken that high yet on the NAS. Let's see how S&P is doing. S&P, see how S&P gave us much a cleaner looking pullback. So S&P is not as strong as the NAS at this point in comparison. The NAS has gone up quite a bit more than the S&P. Okay, so would I be okay moving I'd like to get at least $1,000 out of this just in case they do decide to come back to get me. Okay. All right. Lock in 1,000. Looking to go up to target of 3,700 or so. And that's just on my partial. I didn't get a chance to get another entry in because they didn't give me a big enough pullback here. So I think I'm up to about over 30 some odd wins right now. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I haven't had any losses for a while. Yeah, there's my last loss, $452, and yeah, just been going pretty good. I think I've had about, this is my third, I think I counted last night, it was at 30 wins, so 31 wins in a row now. So I'm trying to get a new record again. I'm at 59 is my record, so I'd like to see if I can do that, but I don't know if it's possible. Again, pretty tough stuff. All right, so looking for a possible continuation to the upside here. So we would expect that, of course, because we have a 1-2, and we come up to this area. We could, gyrate for a little bit in here before we continue. So we're in the macro, but the macro is not really doing. Actually, that could have been. I could have added to my position right here on that pullback. Second opportunity to jump in. There's a gap. I just noticed that there was a little gap there. They came back into that, and we're pushing off to the upside. So could have added here to my position.
I'm not sure if it's done with this cycle right now. We still have 5 minutes on the macro.
And still have 15 minutes of the macro.
There's news in 5 minutes now, is there?
Yes. Again, it's not red news, so I don't know if it's going to have much effect. I think tomorrow, let's see, Wednesday, we have red news at 2 with FOMC meeting minutes.
Oh, so. Yeah. I have a feeling that Powell is going to be holding the line there because he doesn't want to give Trump any advantage.
So it's a slow climb here.
Mm-hmm.
Another gap. And take this fractal off this. And we got 3 minutes before this news. I don't see anything dramatic occurring with the news, but you never know. So I'm going to bring my stop up a little higher just in case. Let's lock in a little bit more. Hate to give up all of that profit. It is possible we could get a spike, but it looks more like we should be able to take the high out up there. So Mr. Tesla here is just still sideways. We do have a 1, 2, 3 at that point, and another one, and some little ones. So they're trying to get out of there to take out the highs. But that's quite the pop on Tesla at the open. This is where the options come in really handy. You know, on Friday, you're buying the, here we are at 340. We're closing at 339 some odd. Buying the 340, 340, 342s, 340. I don't know if you can buy 341s. I mean, it might be $5 each for the contracts. You could buy the 340, 345, say, calls. That would be a nice opening pop for your option. Really nice. All right, we got less than a minute before the, well, less than 10 seconds before the 10 o'clock hour. All right, we're there now. So we're getting a pop right away.
Okay, we have at 10 o'clock.
It gives us a little pop to the upside. So are they going to take the high or do they go shy of it now, right? Which one? Okay, we take the high. Okay, so that should take me out of my position there. Okay, I'm not sure why my position is not closing, but I should be out. That's interesting. My order is not being fulfilled here. And they're going quite a ways up higher. There we go. It finally took there. So there are equal highs above. So they could be stretching to go right up to those equal highs as well. To take out those equal highs. Lots of liquidity sitting up there as well, right? But that's a nice move there from the open. Get a nice. This was perfect for us. Get a beautiful 1, 2, 3 bottom. And there's our 1, 2, 3. And off we went. There's our a little fourth wave dance. Could have added here and then caught the final move to the upside. So I would be expecting a retrace now. Let's see if we get one. So that's a nice relaxed 1, 2, 3 bottom, nice easy trade where we get a beautiful 1, 2, 3 setup, and we can get into a nice comfortable seat on the train, and then catch the ride out to our destination. So that's just perfect there. The Dow, you see how the Dow is really struggling in comparison. Everybody still with me? It's very quiet. I'm not sure if anybody's there.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, present.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah. So you see how the Dow is struggling in comparison to the NAS and the S&P. So
Yeah.
we do get it. We do get a 1, 2, 3. So much larger 1, 2, 3 than the Dow and the Nasdaq, and we get a second one, and now we're getting a third. So we would expect that they would continue up here at this point, but a little bit of a struggle in comparison, where the S&P is making quite the move. But you see how the S&P is lagging the Nasdaq as well. It's not taken. We've taken out the high on the Nas already, and the S&P is not even close to it yet. So we could get divergence possibility here if we've taken that high. So I'm looking for a retrace here. So we'll see if we get one. So my next high is here. So they're very close to that high up there. So they might just go and take that high out first, because there's a lot of liquidity sitting up here. It looks like that's a likely scenario here. So I could have moved my target up and kept moving my stop up, but I set the target, so that's it. Yeah, so it looks likely that there are two highs here. There's equal highs on this line, and then there's a high. So we could take both before we get this retrace. Or they might not take either of them and we get a retrace. So it's always that possibility. I've marked this one as the first one. Mark the second one, the highest one here.
This is climbing like it started the algo before.
Well, we are in the algo, but the algo kicks in at 10 o'clock.
Well,
so we're in a macro and an algo.
It looked like it started this algo around 9:54, but I don't know. It's not the kind of algo that I would have jumped into at that point in time. So it doesn't mean it's not an algo, but.
Yeah, so I didn't really have to exit at this point. I could have, like I said, moved my target to the higher ones and kept moving my stop up. However, low-hanging fruit, there's nothing wrong with taking the profit at that point, So
Yeah, that's for sure.
Because there's no guarantee that they're going to go and take these highs. They could turn back at this point and come back to retrace this entire move. And then we could go again, but yeah. So there's no, it's not
almost
set in
took the
stone
next levels out.
Since they're this close to it, it looks likely that they will take it, take these highs. But again,
it was
no
nine handles from taking out the next reasonable high.
Yeah, I would think they would do it because they're that close. But sometimes they don't do it. They just leave these guys alone for whatever reason. They come back and then make a big assault for the highs after that. So see what they do here. Okay, so in the interim, I'm looking at Tesla. That first 1, 2, 3 on Tesla after they have popped up. So in essence, we've got a number of 1, 2, 3 here. The first one is here, and then I was just looking at this one because that was the one after they popped, got the retrace. So now we get the second 1, 2, 3. These are 2 and our 3, and then they give you another one. So there's lots of opportunities to get in on Tesla. And I'm sure Peter is in on this train right now. He's been very quiet, so he must be on this ride to the upside. Would that be correct there, Peter?
I'm in the locomotive.
Yes, indeed. That was nice, nice seats there for sale.
All aboard.
Yeah, so that's our slingshot. The 1, 2, 3. I call it the slingshot method because it's like a slingshot in that you pull your lever back, you pull your strings back on your slingshot with your stone, and then they give you another one here, and you pull back again, and then you get that, release it in the number 3 point and get that move. So you get that slingshot move to the upside. So that's what we're always looking for in our 1, 2, 3 setups. So very nice there on Tesla. That should continue moving up. And we can put the fibs on to see where that's likely to, start to reach a first target area, and that 1.618 is my usual target area. So we could be looking at around the 358.5 area, 358.30 area, something like that for a first target and beyond.
I'll take that.
So there we go on the NAS. We're just going to take out the first high. So if I see if I can see it on the 1 minute. Yeah, that first high there is now it's just been hit. So yeah, like I said, could have used this as a target, but this was a good move from down here to this level is good. You don't have to be greedy. Although, if you feel brave enough and confident enough, you can do it. And if you're moving your stop up, then certainly, you can do that. So that one was taken. So now we have another, let me just go back to the 5. We have another high right up at the top. Now they might leave that one alone. So looking at our overall structure, let me see if we can see it. Our overall structure gives us, so I would expect them to take this high. Because
that's entirely reasonable.
Yeah, our overall structure is to that high, and then we get this move down. Whoops, to way down there. That's where I was kind of expecting us to turn at this point back to the upside, not way down here. This is 50% of the move. So, you want to see them turn around in that 50% area, but they went quite a ways down. They went under 79%. At that point before we got to move. So I would expect them to take this high out. At that point, if they do that, then we can expect a retrace. And then a further continuation. So it doesn't look like the news had much dent, if anything, at that point. So let's see what they just refresh this and see what we got for consumer confidence. Forecast was 87.1%, and it came in at 98. So consumer confidence is quite high. But it didn't make a dent on the charts, really.
So that's interesting. In this past, it's a M over M, right?
I think so.
Yeah, so that means that
doesn't tell me that.
People are liking what he's doing so far. So that should be very positive for the NAS.
So your day is done just on this move right here, right? You catch a little trade there. You don't have to trade anymore for the rest of the day if you don't want to. If you caught that nice move. Okay, so we've taken out the high. So that again, that's what we would expect, that we'd take that high. So really, taking the profits here was a bit lame on my part. I should have gone for the high, but again, you don't have to do that. You can take your profits off early if you want. Because when we first started, that was my expectation that we were going to take that high. So if I go back up to the 15-minute time frame and looking at the overall structure, because I have a 1, 2, 3 at this point, this move up tells me that we should take that high, because any pullback, again, I did that. See how my normal pullback, see how that's abnormal, this pullback? You want to see a normal pullback, which is like something like that. But they made it quite a drop. So yeah, I would expect that we would go back up and take that high out. And that's what they did. So based on our structure, we can determine the overall direction of the chart. And so we're always looking for our 1, 2, 3, then this move to the upside. Once we get that move to the upside, we take our profits off of that at that area, which is there, and then we look for a pullback. Once we get that pullback, we're then expecting this target to be this high to be taken out, and that's what's happening here. So that completes our structure, and then we would expect a retrace, possibly taking out this low again before we continue going. So if that's the case, it's possible to see a retrace taking out this low, but because it's so far down, maybe they won't come down and take out this low. We might just go, somewhere in this area and continue, because lots of the liquidity has been taken out with this wick here. So do they need to come back down again to take out these guys here? Maybe not. So we have to look at it in that way. So, gentlemen, I just feel like going right back to bed now.
You made your day, huh?
Yeah, get enough sleep. That's a good idea, in fact.
I've got plumbers coming in an hour, so we got It's 7:15. I got plumbers coming in at 8:30 in another hour, a little over an hour. So yeah, where Joanne decided to go crazy and redesign the bathroom.
Ah,
So,
a genuine spa.
yeah, to me, it doesn't, what bathroom is a bathroom. It's fine the way it is, but nope, I want this color and this, that. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Us guys, we don't really care. But it's still going to be the same bathroom.
Well, it's jerry can time in the garden soon anyhow, isn't it?
Yeah. Indeed. All right, so let's see how, yeah, Tesla's probably just going sideways now. Let me go back down to the 1. Yeah, sort of going sideways for one more push. So we could expect that, that gyration. And then a continuation to that level, and maybe even higher. So S&P still hasn't even reached that high yet. So quite interesting. S&P is still lagging behind the NAS. So we could possibly get divergence here with S&P. They might not take that high, but we would expect them to take that high. But let's see if that's so. So it's the same pattern on the S&P. We get, as the NAS, we get that 1, 2, 3 bottom. We get that strong move to the upside. So yes, we would expect them to take this high on the retrace, and we get that retrace. You see how I always want to draw it like here, because I'm so used to drawing the structure that way. I don't usually draw the structure like that. You see, it's when you draw the structure, you don't look to go like that. You know, you draw it in a way that is more normal, like that. See? So that's why when I draw it, my hand is automatically wanting to go here. And it's actually in this case, so it's a very unusual drop. You can see the wick is very unusual move. So yes, we would expect them to go back up and take out these highs, but it looks like the S&P is struggling to do that. So we've got a lot of liquidity sitting at these highs here, and they're struggling to get back up there to take them out. Quite interesting, the difference. And then the Dow I think is even worse. The Dow did it. So you see the Dow had divergence here. We had divergence with the Dow because they took out the low, whereas the NAS and the S&P did not do that. So we had a nice 1, 2, 3. We get that move up. So we expect them to take this high out, but we do not expect them to take this low out first. You know, that kind of ruins the structure. So our structure is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We do not expect this level to come down, even to take that out. We don't expect that. Never mind to come back and take out our low. If it does that, then that just nullifies the whole structure. So this is very unusual on the Dow.
Yeah, that doesn't quite make. That's very interesting.
Yeah, quite interesting on the Dow that they did that. So by doing that, it nullifies the structure. So we wouldn't expect the Dow to be coming back up to take out these highs at any time soon here, because we could still see further down. You know, that's even possible, right? That they could come back and take out these lows. But it's very odd what's going on with the Dow. So, but the Dow is always odd, anyways. It never quite follows along with the other guys.
Yeah.
So let me go to, I'm looking at it on the 30. Let's see how the S&P looks on the 30. So they look similar on the 30. Interesting. Very much so, eh? The only difference again is that we took out this low here. So on the S&P, we don't take the low, and on the NAS, we do not take the low. So I think the Dow is set to go back up and take out the high. The only difference is that we had divergence here at the bottom. They did actually take out that low. So quite interesting. So yeah, it's just going to be a slow climb for the Dow to get up there, more than likely. But there is a structure on the 30-minute, very clear. 1, 2, 3, and then we pull back, and then they took out this low. Very unusual for them to do that. So it's a sweep of these guys here. For whatever reason, they decided to do that. So we would look for a 1, 2 here to continue this move. Whereas on the S&P and the NASDAQ, it's a different, if I put that, it's a little different. We don't take out that low. Same 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't take out that low, and we're looking to go. So the S&Ps are still lagging a little bit behind the NAS. We haven't taken out the high as yet. We didn't take out the low, and now we'd be looking for a 1, 2 here to continue up. So same type of pattern. Once you can get your bearings on the higher time frame, we can so NAS is quite strong here. We're not even getting a retrace as yet. Interesting. We're still looking for a retrace of this move, but we're not getting anything as yet. We could take a ride back down with this. If we could get a breach of this low here, for instance, we could get a 1, 2, 3 top to come back down, something like that. That's possible, but not highly in the cards at this moment. It's very strong. So, oh, and I haven't looked at Bitcoin. Oh my. Okay, so let's take a look at Bitcoin, because I haven't even looked at that. I was so concentrated on NAS here this morning. Okay, so Bitcoin, our structure on Bitcoin, I'm on the daily time frame. So we came through this huge drop from we were at 100,000. Remember, we were at 109,000. We came through this channel, came down to the 70. Remember, I was calling for 70,000 Dow or Bitcoin at this when we were up here on a pullback. We could come back down to 70,000. And then I said, now we wanted to go back up and take out these highs. So 70,000 is a great buying opportunity in this area to go back up to take out the highs. So again, it's our same structure that once we see that move back down, we're looking for them to take out this high. And this is exactly the same thing. It's just on a higher time frame. So they've made that move, and it consists of our structure again. We get our 1-2, and then we get this strong move in the third leg. And so at this point, since we've taken out the high, we could expect some type of gyrations in here and then a continuation. So, and then we'd be looking for them to take out this high again to continue. So Bitcoin looking pretty good here on the daily time frame. Lots of strength. So 4 hour, we're very strong. We actually on the 4 hour we've swept the lows here. We got a clean 1, 2, 3 bottom, right back into that gap, and we've taken out the highs. We're getting a pullback. So this is what we're looking for on the NAS right now, because they've taken out the highs. We're looking for them to come back and give us another opportunity for an entry to continue to go and take out these highs. So that's the 1, 2, 3 right now that's in charge and pushing us to new highs for Bitcoin. So very clean, very nice on Bitcoin here. You can see even at this level, we had beautiful 1, 2, 3, that strong move up. So we would expect a retrace, and then we would expect them to go back up and take out these highs. So really nice here. So that's the 4 hour. On the hourly, we're now looking at that big move up, retrace, and now we're pushing back up. We took out the highs again at this level. So we would look for a retrace at this point. We're getting that retrace, and then a continuation. So where are we retracing to? We do have a gap here, so I'm going to mark that gap out right there. So that's a reasonable retrace area because we have some liquidity sitting here. We could take that liquidity out. But we could go down lower as well, because this entire move, we would looking for a retrace in the 50% area, which is actually just below that area. So that's reasonable. There's also an inverted gap here. So if I mark that inverted gap, that puts us right at 50% in that gap. So it's perfect. So that is a possibility that inverted gap from this side on the hourly time frame here, we can come back and touch that, get even down halfway, and then continue. That's from the hourly. So if that's making any sense there. Okay, so then on the 30-minute, there's our structure again. We went up, we're expecting to take out the highs, getting that retrace back. We could come back into this 50% area on the retrace, 15-minute time frame. Looking to come down a little further here. On the 5-minute time frame, we're on our way down. So that would have been a nice play with our 1, 2, 3 top here. Down, but pretty choppy, so tough to get in. Got another 1, 2, 3 there, another 1, 2, 3 here. Whoops, can't draw. Okay, so we had a quick 1, 2, 3 here, and then another 1, 2, 3 here, and yet another 1, 2, 3 at this point. So these afforded nice entries at these levels, but very, very quick here on these two, especially. And this one gave you a chance to get in. And you could catch that move to take out the lows. Looking to take out all these equal lows down here. So we're looking to slice through that as well. So the play for Bitcoin is to the downside right now. So I would enter on Bitcoin if I got a retrace back into this gap. That would afford a nice entry, a nice seat in the train. It'll continue down. But they don't necessarily have to give us a retrace. They can just continue straight down. So they might be in a hurry to get down there just to pick up take out as many buyers in here. So they might just go straight through, take everybody out, touch into this inverted gap, and off we go again. So I'll keep watching it. If I do get a retrace, I'll take a sell because they're going down to take out these lows. So if they give you that opportunity to get in before they do that, then you take advantage of it. But it doesn't look too likely that they're going to do it at this point. So how's the S&P doing? S&P's trying to make a run for the highs, still a ways from those highs, eh? S&P still not able to get up there to those highs. Interesting. Dow is trying very hard to get up there, getting a nice move on the Dow now. So Martin, were you playing the Dow?
Yeah. But
Okay.
I switched to the NAS now, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they see the Dow. It's quite the struggle, quite the struggle to get out. But they gave us 3 chances, maybe even 4 chances to get in. Even in this area here, we could consider that a 1, 2, 3 at that point. And you got 4 chances to catch the move because we are expecting them to go up there, but they're just doing it in a more slow way. As it were.
Yeah, and the last 1, 2, 3 with 4 or 5 equal lows, so I flinched there and got out there.
Okay. So you see, that's the expectation that we're going to go up and take the highs, but they're taking a little scenic route. Yeah, they're not going direct. So quite interesting in there. So in this area in here where you said that you took some profits, yeah, they're very choppy in here, but they left, a lot of buyers under these areas, but they left them all alone. They did not take them out. Buyers here, buyers under here, and we did not violate those buyers. They just took off without taking them out. So quite interesting right there.
Yeah.
You would think that they might have done that, just take a quick little dip and then take off.
Yeah.
But they did not. So quite interesting on that. So they have their quota, as it were. They took these guys out here. So they have enough orders to make that move without, again, coming back down to take everybody out. So that was enough for them to go. Well, quite interesting how the market moves. So still looking for a retrace, and we're not really getting one. at all on the
Yeah, we
NAS.
have not even reached the point of control yet on a 5-day chart.
Okay,
We're
so let's see.
still below the point of control.
Let me go. Okay, I'm on the hourly, looking at where we are overall. So we do have a huge gap over here on this side, and I'm going to mark that gap because it might prove to be an interesting. So we're almost at the 50% level of that, as ICT would call it, the consequent encroachment of that gap. We're basically touching that midpoint of that gap. Quite interesting. So that might be where we turn back. So you see how that that gap from the 1 hour time frame can come into play. So we're right at the midpoint of that gap. So on the 15-minute, very close to that midpoint. So this is where we could see the turnaround back to the downside. So looking for that possibility. Okay, I just messed up. Okay, I need to go back up to the hourly and mark I just moved my gap because I didn't lock it. Let me lock it this time. Lock that so I don't move it. All right, so we're right at the 50% level. So if I go back down to the 1, so now
It's still quite a few handles up that you're going, right?
He still has a little bit more to touch into the midpoint of the gap, so it could go up a little higher, certainly. So any breach of one of these lows coming back down, and we could see the beginning of the turnaround. So if they took out this low here, we could possibly see a 1, 2, 3 to come back at that point. But right now the market is still quite buoyant, so really not looking to sell anything there. Okay, so remember what I was saying about Bitcoin. If we got a retrace back up into the gap here, that would present a sell opportunity. So there we go. So now we getting that retrace back into the gap. So it's giving us a sell opportunity to go down. Oh my, they've already taken everybody out. Remember I was saying that they would take out these guys in here. So in actuality, they've already done it. So yeah, I wouldn't be looking to sell now. So that was fast. Hey? You see that? So I was saying, okay, I'll retrace here back to here.
This is the first time my GAN has changed direction.
You see how fast this moves? So we were looking at it earlier just to take out these lows. I was saying, okay, if we got a retrace back up here, that would be a nice play to come down and take out the lows. But they did it without coming back up at all and went way down, took everybody out. So no chance whatsoever. So what I'm looking at here is not even. Yeah, I mean, if we could still get a ride back down, they could go back down and take this low again. But at this point, it's possible that they've got their quota. Look how far down they went. Wow. So I didn't even think that they would do that. I thought perhaps, remember I had the 0.5%, 50% retrace of this entire move. I figured, okay, that area, and then we could continue, but they've went right through it, almost down to 70, let's say 70% here or more. So that's quite a retrace that they did, but it's just a wick. So it's, a very quick takeout of anyone who had buys in here. All the buyers in here were taken out, and now they're looking to turn around and go back to the upside. So there's an opportunity not for a sell anymore in Bitcoin, but for a buy. So that was very, very quick. So that could have been a play had I been a bit more on the ball. I could have said, I'm just going to jump in and take that trade. But so yes, we can get a retrace here, but it might just be a retrace for this leg, and then we would continue going back up again. So I've got a 1, 2, 3 top to drop over to this level. So we expect them to take this low out. They do that. Now we're getting a 1, 2 to come back up. That's what the expectation would be. Again, it is possible for them to go back down and take out the low one more time, but I wouldn't really expect them to do that. And mark this gap. This is an inverted gap, and we've got a regular gap as well. So you could see price coming back down into this area. And that would present a buy to go up. Let's see where 50% of this move is. Right back into that lower gap there. So will we get a retrace back there? We shall see here. See Tesla. So it's just sideways right now. So we're looking for another push out, but they're just kind of sliding sideways right now. NAS is also a little bit sideways. So we did, we did make that break to the low down. So will they take the high one more time or what here? It looks like they want to. So we're very close to that midpoint. No trade at this point, though. So they didn't take the high, and we're getting a 1, 2, 3 with a change of character. And so we could take the low, come back again, and drop. That is a possibility. But they came so close to the midpoint, you would think that they would go through and take that out first, even with a wick, before we get a drop.
Oh, they'll get a second chance, it looks like. What are you on, NAS? Yeah.
The NASDAQ, yeah.
Yeah.
I was still trying to get up there. Very close to getting to that high now. Looks like they should make that on the Dow. S&P is still quite a ways away, so there's still room for them to go up higher on the S&P. So that looks like the NAS will continue going higher in the shorter term here as well. So that midpoint is in, yeah, so they're going to more than likely continue going higher here. So a little bit of sideways movement. So the best play right now would be on Bitcoin. If I got a deeper retrace, they only came back 27%. So, wow, that might be all they do. Just give us that, and then they take off. So sometimes you're looking for a deeper retrace, you don't get it. But this is all now a sitting liquidity area, so it is still possible for them to come. They can be sneaky, take out this high. Looks like they're going. People start jumping in, and then they come back down, and come back into this area before they go. So liquidity is still sitting here. They have room to come back down and grab that liquidity before they go. So do not chase the train, because you can get run over by its wheels on the tracks there. So I'll hang with you guys for another 15 minutes, and I'll call it a morning because of plumbers coming over and so forth.
Yay.
Yeah.
It's been a good morning.
Make sure everything in the bathroom is gold plated, eh?
I like platinum. I think I was outvoted by Joe. She wanted gold. I think she wanted diamonds, actually.
Typical woman.
Yeah, I used to like playing platinum. Let's see if platinum. I haven't looked at that. Platinum US. Is the futures for platinum? Platinum futures? Platinum futures, PL. There we go. I used to love playing platinum. When I was first learning. Let's see how this looks. Ooh, that's nasty. This is the monthly chart on platinum. That's crazy, eh? So it's good to go back and see. So when I was playing platinum, I was back in the mid 90s and into the .com era. This is all the .com. So this was a .com blip here on platinum. And then platinum took off in 2001. Look at that, eh? And then we had big, huge pullback in 2008, of course, the debacle there. Another push back up 2009, but they couldn't take out the high. Interesting, eh? So it's been all downhill for platinum since. Now they're just chopping. So looking like since they've taken out these lows, it's possible that we could see a comeback for platinum. But it's going to be a while. In a dance. It's been in a dance since 2022. Been sitting in the station anyways, right? And not much going on for platinum for a long while. So quite interesting chart. And going back a little further, so that 1986 was when platinum came on board. So there's the overall structure. That big, huge move, big drop. So kind of in a choppy. So you kind of expect that they would want to go back up to challenge these highs again, but it's going to be a while before we get that. Even to get back to this area might be quite a stretch. That's platinum on the monthly. Wow. Amazing. Weekly has a nice 1, 2, 3 bottom. We pushed out. They're looking to take out these highs. They didn't take them yet. So it looks like that's in the cards to take out these highs. So we're kind of in a trench with high and low. So there's a high here. If I can get that. Look on platinum, and then the low down here. So it looks like we're in this channel. They're trying very hard to get out, but it's been a struggle. This is since 2023. We've been in this channel. Now the closest high now is here, and they're looking to take that one out. It looks like they did actually touch it to get out. Very close there. Yeah, they kind of touch. Let's see, the high here is 104.8. This high is 105. So they haven't taken it yet, but very close. So we're in this channel trying to get out. We got a 1, 2, 3 bottom. This is the weekly one, and they're looking to. Looks like this might be a breakout for platinum, possibly in the next few months. Quite interesting. I used to play lean hogs. I don't know if they do that anymore. Lean hogs. Oh, they do. Still have them. Okay. Wow. So there's a monthly on lean hog. So again, back when I was playing was in the 90s. And yeah, wow. Look how choppy this stuff is. Lean hog futures. Used to play live cattle. It's a live cattle futures.
Have a look at orange juice.
Yeah, I used to play orange juice as well. Wow, look at live cattle. Wow, what a move. So back in 1996, this is the monthly chart again. So 1996 area, 2000. So they had quite the move here. We got a 1, 2, 3 bottom up. They chopped it all up in the fourth wave here. Beautiful fourth wave. So we would expect that they would come back up and take out this high. And they did. Boom. OJ. Yeah, I used to love playing orange juice. Oops. Orange juice, OJ. Oh, don't like that chart. Let's try a different one here. Orange juice futures. Frozen orange juice futures. Not sure which one anymore, Peter. It doesn't seem like they have it. That's a little better chart. This is frozen concentrate orange juice futures. Used to just be OJ. Yeah, it's quite the pop. Orange juice went sky high from 2020 on the monthly chart. So yeah, again, we were in a range. And now we get that big pop to the upside. Just 1 second, gentlemen. Like the phone was ringing and Joe's not answering it. So give me 1 second.
NASDAQ has been going sideways for a while.
You can check. Right. What else? I used to play orange juice, live cattle, lean hogs, platinum, gold, silver, Canadian dollar, all that kind of stuff. It was quite interesting. The futures market. So if I just go to futures, yeah, just go to actually there's a futures list. And yeah, I can see all the different futures that are in play. So we got Bitcoin futures now. Crude oil, of course, was a big one. Silver, platinum, copper. Yeah, copper was always a good one too. All these, so lots of futures. Soybean and corn were really awesome. I really like playing soybeans. But it's interesting looking at the monthly chart now to see how the volatility of these guys is just amazing. The movements. See? All right, so looking at our Bitcoin, we are at new highs and looking to continue pushing up. So number 180,000 is the target. Next target level. That could be a while though. All right, so we are getting a pullback on Bitcoin. So are they just tricking everyone in this pullback to go, or do they go all the way down to take out the lows one more time? So we have to be aware of that possibility. So we have a 1, 2, 3 top, then we drop. So since we did that, we would expect them to take this low one more time. With Bitcoin, though, they can be tricky. So they did this. So that was an expectation that they would take that low at that point. And now they've taken that low. So that could be the bottom. And then this is a new 1, 2, 3 to go. So it can be tricky. Which one will it be? Would they go one more time to take the lows? Or do we just turn around in this area and continue back up? So it's a tricky one, but it looks realistic that this is a possibility that they could take the lows one more time based on the overall structure. So that's from the 1 minute time frame. Let's go to the 5 minute. And we look at it from this level, and we've got this move here, up, back in, up. So now we've taken out the liquidity here. Most of the liquidity on this side as well. Very close to taking these guys. There's equal lows here as well. So yeah, there is still a possibility for them to just be mean and nasty and come down one more time, take out these guys. Those are the only ones left. Everybody else has been taken out. So it's still possible for them to do that, but they could also not do it because they've already swept everyone. So we could just go from this level. So it'll be interesting to see what they do. So this is where the risk comes in, because you could take the chance of jumping in at this point, and back into this gap, and then you could get taken out because they're not done going down. You can see the look of the chart tells you a lot as well. Basically this whole move is a 1-2. So if this whole move is a 1-2, it's a 1-2-3 top, then it's kind of telling us that this drop is still to be taken, right? This low is still to be taken, so we need another drop. So that means the play would be to, at this point in the short term, would be to take a ride down to take out the lows rather than looking for a retrace. But it's a risk either way at this point.
We're getting a pretty good drop now on NAS.
NAS is finally turning. Let's see. Yeah, they're taking out that low break. We got a break of structure. So we actually went up and touched the midpoint. Interesting. So they swept all the sellers, and these early sellers were taken out. And then
I'm
we get a
still seeing a lot of strength though in the NAS to continue up.
Well, again, we're at the point where we should expect a retrace. So
yeah, right. That's for sure.
Right, we're expecting
and
a little bit of a retrace.
We've been sliding in range bound motion for a while, actually.
So the only question is, how much do we retrace?
Right.
Yeah. So if I put my fibs on that, we're looking at least 50%.
Yeah.
Right? So that could take us back down into this area here. See how S&P still has not taken out the highs, very close to taking it out. So so we're getting divergence here on the S&P if they can't take that high out with the NAS. And then Dow, definitely in a big struggle to get up there. You can see that quite clearly. So big divergence on S&P and NAS. And
if the NAS from its current high to the current low point, if it doubles that, it would get back to VWAP.
Okay. Yeah, so looking for at least a 50% retrace of this entire move. So that would take us back down into this gap here.
That's approximately what would be in the cards. And it's also at the 200 SMA line on the 1 minute chart.
Let's see how Tesla looks. So Tesla on the 5 minute, they did pull back a little bit into this gap on the 5 minute.
Boy, it seems to have more strength than.
But they came close to going up to that 1.618 target, but they fell short of it. They got into the 1.44 area, 1.414 area, and now we're still cycling. So I was still looking to go up those. So there's still strength overall in this move, but yeah. All right, so it's after 8 my time here, after 11. So I'll call it a morning because I do have some
okay
workers coming. So
thank you, Lennox.
Yeah.
Have a good afternoon.
Indeed. So
Make
gentlemen,
make sure the bathroom floor is heated.
Take care, everyone.
Thank you. See you tomorrow.
Indeed. All right, Martin, take care.
All right.
Oh, Armin did join us.
Say again.
Armin joined us there late.
Yeah.
All right, Martin. Have a great rest of the day.
Yeah.
See
you tomorrow. Thank you.
All right, Peter. Take care.
All right. Goodbye, gentlemen.
See you, Marmin. Take care.
Bye.
Nice to hear you. you.